We are going through exercise 6D, and in this video we'll be answering question 1a, which says solve each of the following, and here we have a cubic which is set equal to 0. Now in order to answer this, we're going to have to utilize our null factor law. So let's read the definition of it. The null factor law states that if the product of two or more numbers is 0, then at least one of the numbers must be 0. So let's just give an example of this. So for instance, if I had A times B is equal to 0, then what I know is that either A is equal to 0 or the B is going to be equal to 0. And of course, they could both be equal to 0 as well, but we definitely know that either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. This is our null factor law. Let's now apply that logic over to the question that is before us. So as you can see, we have three things that are multiplied together, which give us an answer of 0. So in order for this to be true, either this has to be equal to 0, so x minus 1 has to be equal to 0, or you could say x plus 2 is equal to 0. X plus 2 is equal to 0. And then finally, you would say, or x minus 4 is equal to 0. X minus 4 is equal to 0. Let's not forget to write or there. Then after you've done this, what you simply have to do now is solve for each of these. So if I was to solve this for x, it's going to be x equals 1. If I was to solve for this one, it's going to be x equals negative 2. And finally, for this one, it's going to be x equals 4. Then once I've finished, I simply say x is going to be equal to 1, negative 2, 4. Hopefully that makes sense of this question, and you found that straightforward.